You don't need another morning routine. You don't need to find your purpose. You need to quit running from the truth. You've been trained to avoid feeling anything real. Every time life gets uncomfortable, you reach for a screen. Every time you feel that emptiness, you reach for a quick dopamine hit. Food, porn, snacks, doom scrolling, whatever gives you that tiny spike. Without realizing it, you've been taught to escape every uncomfortable moment, and now your nervous system is completely fried. This is why you don't feel drive, purpose, passion anymore. You just feel flat. And here's the thing, you're not lazy, your biology has just been hijacked. In this video, I'm going to show you how dopamine has been quietly numbing your life, and how to rewire it so you actually crave challenge and enjoy challenge. Actually love discomfort and actually start to feel completely alive again. And all you need to do is understand a few things about dopamine. And once you do, I promise you'll start to see massive difference in your life. This is one of the most powerful things I ever learned. So lock in and stay focused. So this was a big realization for me. My problem wasn't a lack of motivation. It was just too much comfort. I didn't understand the power of proactively making myself uncomfortable. I wanted to do hard things, but I didn't want to feel uncomfortable. And that's a very subtle difference that we have to understand. In modern day life, our lives are too comfortable, and we don't realize how comfortable we have it. So much so that we start to believe that we need motivation to do difficult things, but actually doing difficult things gives us motivation to do other difficult things. We don't realize that our brains get sucked into this reality where it's just instant reward. Right now, I could order food to my front door. I could order a taxi that will come straight to my front door. I don't even need to leave my house. I could even work here all day, completely comfortable. I don't even need to go outside. And we don't realize the gradual effect this is having on us. The dopamine debt. So that when we do things that are just so easy, like doom scrolling, snacking, order to our house, we don't realize what happens to our dopamine receptors. We don't realize that because we're not exercising them in the right way, we are literally borrowing fake pleasure from our future just so we can get that comfortable feeling now. And that's why we wake up feeling tired even though we haven't done anything. May crave excitement, but nothing really excites us anymore. And then we start thinking, oh, maybe I need some deep therapy on this. And really all what's happening is we're addicted to comfort. So there was a time that I thought I was just like really lazy. I would just set loads of goals. I'd be consistent for a while, but then I would just crash hard and then procrastinate for a couple of weeks, maybe even months, and then the shame part of me would kick in, and that would make it even worse. Because when that shame part came in and started berating me, I would then reach for the YouTube shorts and distractions and food and porn and other like things to make me feel good in the moment. And then what would happen is I would hate myself even more. And then time would go past and I'd think, well, I need to motivate myself. I need to go out and do this. But all I was really doing for motivating myself from a place of pain, I was just getting more pain. So I was secretly looking forward to the pain ending. Before I carry on with the video, guys, please like, comment and subscribe if this is the sort of content that's helping you so other people can see this. It helps the algorithm out a lot. Anyway, back to the video. So my big realization was that my relationship with pain was really important. And then I realized that most of the things I was doing was just to not feel uncomfortable. Even exercising was so difficult. I would force myself to exercise. But now, because I've completely changed the way that I leverage this pain, I now see pain as kind of growth or healing. And I'm not trying to constantly minimize the damage, secretly hoping it will be over one day. And this is the key. This is how you start to enjoy things that are difficult. And then I also discovered parts work, the fact that my psyche was divided into these different sub-personalities. One wanted to go to the gym to look good and feel good, but another part of me wants to stay at home and eat pizza. It wasn't until I came to this realization that these parts of me have different motivations to avoid pain. It wasn't until I reconciled these motivations that things started to work in an alignment. I wasn't fighting myself as much. So when you try and force yourself without having this understanding, your mind will just turn on you and sabotage. It will just slam on the brakes. And that's what burnout is. It's not really to do with tiredness. It's really your nervous system saying, please stop punishing me. I can't keep avoiding this pain, even though I'm feeling pain. So the difference is that you actively choose pain, not to avoid pain, but to actually enjoy pain. But it's not pain as in physical pain. You can actually enjoy the burn of going to the gym or doing things that you find very boring with the active, proactive feeling of doing it because you know it's got growth within it. That's how you build dopamine to work for you. That's how you build discomfort to work for you. You actively seek out discomfort and you derive a sense of pleasure from that. This is a game changer. I remember one night I had that realization and I thought, I wonder if I can just sit at home without doing anything. So I sat there without my phone, no TV, no books, no stimulus, and it was unbearable and it was unbelievable, this realization that how often have I just been avoiding this, just sitting by myself. So I started to gradually do this. I started to just go for walks. Instead of driving to the shop, I would walk to the shop without any headphones, without any external stimulus. And I started to notice that these small differences were making a big difference in my life. I started to feel a lot more at ease. I started to process all of the information I was taking from my YouTube addiction. Something inside me seemed to break open. I started to be able to feel these emotions a lot more intense. But the thing that had changed was I was actively choosing this. I wasn't hiding away anymore. And I think it was that moment, going for these walks, that everything clicked, where I realized that discomfort is not the enemy. And I couldn't believe that all of these years, all of the self-help, all of the things to try and overcome discomfort was to not actually feel discomfort, which is so crazy when you think about it. And it deepened my understanding of what dopamine is doing. Dopamine wasn't anything to do with pleasure. It was to do with craving. It was to do with pursuit and anticipation. So then I realized and I learned that dopamine is creating this reward circuitry. So every time I started to lean into discomfort, I was getting a dopamine hit from it. I was actually building the circuit to then do it again. And that's how you get addicted to going to the gym and feel good about it. That's how you get addicted to doing difficult things. Then I started to get excited, like what could I actually do that's going to make me slightly uncomfortable each day? And then I could push that and get addicted to that. And that's where the growth comes from. And that's the meaning in my life, just to see where I can actually push myself. I started to notice that the very act of leaning into my boredom and proactively being bored, I was building willpower. I was building discipline. And this is where parts work came in, because I started to notice that the motivations of these parts weren't really to gain anything. All they want is to not feel negative emotions. So I started to notice that it was completely fine for them to feel negative emotions. Although it was the anticipation of these negative emotions. I was actually actively avoiding certain situations because I knew or anticipated, not consciously, that they might bring out negative emotions. Like, for example, not going to a birthday party. My friend's birthday party brought up a lot of anxiety in me, and all I was thinking was I'm going to have to be social. I'm going to have to meet people that I don't really know. I'm going to have to put on an act maybe. So again, these parts are actually producing these thoughts and even giving me excuses about why I shouldn't go or why I can't go. So if you've been looking for something in your life, you've been watching all the videos, all the self-help videos, really is understand that. Lean into discomfort. Start to enjoy discomfort. Proactively choose discomfort, because you know that this is what your brain is really craving, is to overcome it and actually embrace it. Stop avoiding it. Because the more you avoid it, the harder it gets. The more that you're building the circuits in the other direction. If this has been helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've liked this video, then you're going to love this next video here. It's that you're not lazy, you're just divided. Anyway, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.